Hey everyone, we're here today with Rick Marini, who is the CEO and founder of SuperFan, and is also the co-founder of Tickle.com, which sold to Monster earlier. Very interesting guy and an even more interesting story. We have him here today with us to talk about what's worked and what's not worked. So Rick, tell us your story. How did you end up becoming an entrepreneur?
Sure. So the first company, as you said, was Tickle.com. So we started Tickle back in 1999. So I've been doing social media for a long time. And I came out of Harvard with an MBA and met my business partner there, James Currier, and we started Tickle. So at Harvard Business School, we saw people taking the Myers-Briggs test, and people started to open up and talk more about themselves using that on that test. So we realized that we could bring that online, and we did that with Tickle. And Tickle became a big site. We grew to the 18th largest site in the world, 200 million registered users, almost 40 million in revenue before we sold it to Monster in 2004. So it became a big site. So with that experience, I became an entrepreneur for life. And after selling Tickle, stuck around for a couple of years and then started SuperFan. This is my second venture now. So yeah, absolutely love being an entrepreneur. Once you get a taste of it, it's hard to do anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Tickle was your first company, right?
Yeah, Tickle was my first company. James and I were both first-time entrepreneurs. Raised money as first-timers at the peak of the market in March of 2000. We grew Tickle, as I said, to a big site. In 2002, we won the Webby Award for the fastest growing site on the internet. And in 2003, it really took off and sold in 2004.
Yeah, so that's a great achievement.
Thank
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, so Tickle is a very interesting story. It's so many questions, but how did you? So the first one I wondered is, when so many internet companies were crashing and burning around you, 2001, 2001, what made you guys different, and how did you survive and grow where others failed?
One thing is that James and I always looked at it as a real business. Back in 2000, a lot of people were getting funded that probably shouldn't have. And James and I were always focused on the business. I think we were smart with the money that we had raised to make sure that that would last us through the darker days.
And how much did you raise?
Total was about $9 million, and August Capital was the main investor with Andrew Anker and David Hornick. So we had great investors. So we were always careful about the way that we spent the money, knowing that we were in this for the long term. But really what happened is we got viral. Tickle was one of the most viral sites ever on the internet. We were the largest personality quiz site on the internet. Again, this is going back to 1999. So
right.
Today quizzes are still one of the biggest apps on Facebook, but we started that. We were kind of the pioneers back in '99. And we found a way to allow people to share their quiz results in a fun way, and that really got viral. Started in early 2000 with the What Breed of Dog Are You test. That got highly viral.
Was that your first quiz?
That was the first one that took off. We had done some quizzes prior to that, and they were mostly around depression and anxiety and really serious stuff. And we found out quickly that nobody wants to share that. It's not interesting to hear how depressed someone is. So we quickly shifted gears, and we thought about, what do people really like out there? And puppies and babies and things like that. So we said, okay, people love their pets. Let's do a test.
So how do you come up with the first puppy one?
It was really just a brainstorm of what do people love, and then we said, okay, they love their pets, so let's do a test around what breed of dog are you, based on your personality. And as a reference point, when we started the company, so this is back in late '99, we were doing like no pagers. We did 1 million pagers for the entire month of December. We launched that test and we started doing 1 million pagers per day, just because one test really took off.
Wow, and how long did that take? 30 days, 60 days?
It was literally within days of launching it. We had all the viral hooks in there so you could share it with friends. And we were set to go once we got viral, and once we had the right content in front of people, it just took off. And we followed that up with what celebrity would you, celebrity matchmaker, what celebrity would you be matched up with? And we had Howard Stern as one of the celebrities, and people were getting matched up to him. They started calling into his TV show, his radio show, and then our servers just melted because we talked about it for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And then about a week later, we got funded.
That's great.
Yeah. So that was the early days of Tickle, and they were fun days.
So obviously you haven't retired after Tickle. You're not driving sports cars in Hawaii on the beach. You're back at it at your next company, SuperFan. So tell us a little bit about SuperFan.
Sure. So SuperFan is a social entertainment site where users can become a fan of everything they love in life. We go across every possible fan category: music, sports, celebrities, video games, brands, places, products, everything you could become a fan of, we have in the site. And it's also a company that creates social games that are really driven by fan interests and media driven as well. Again, entertainment and sports and music type of social games. Things like, it's really interactive, things like battles and trading cards and quizzes and Super 5, things like that, that really engage the users and allow them in some cases to compete with each other, so that's a competitive aspect as well. But it's both a social entertainment site as well as social gaming.
Okay. And who is, are there any particular verticals or segments you're targeting?
The big three, we have 10 main categories. The big three for us, again, would be music, sports, and celebrities.
Okay. And are you using a lot of the viral dynamics and the techniques you've learned over the years, in your career as part of what you're doing at SuperFan as well?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of parallels to what we're doing at SuperFan to what we did at Tickle. So Tickle, one of our main goals was to be kind of the infomediary between the brands and the users. And we would use the personality quizzes to help target market users' interests for the brands. And a lot of that is actually happening at SuperFan, where brands are one of our main categories as well. So we have the ability to see that a user of a certain brand who becomes a fan of that also can become a fan of the music they love, and the sports, and the celebrities, and so on. So we can tie all that together. So very similar to Tickle in that we used engaging social media to put ourselves in the middle of consumers and the brands. We're doing that in a lot of ways with SuperFan. We're just doing it through social games instead of quizzes.
So social games obviously is big these days, or at least as a buzzword, it's big. Are you leveraging any of the platforms, social networking platforms?
Sure. Yeah. So we have 3 apps on Facebook. We've integrated with Facebook Connect, and we've integrated with Twitter. So we're really using the biggest social media sites out there, and MySpace soon as well, integration, and it's going great. The Facebook apps, let's see, we launched in July. We had roughly 40,000 visits in July, small, and today we're at like 1.5 million. So we've grown by 20 or 30x or whatever that is in a matter of a couple months. And a lot of that's on the destination site, but a lot of that was also driven by the apps on Facebook. And we've built out, other than the Facebook apps, we've built out a really broad site. We've got quizzes, of course. And by the way, the senior team at SuperFan is all comes from Tickle. So we've been working together for almost a decade. So we all come from that viral marketing.
So you got your buddies back in the...
Yeah. So we're all passionate about what we do as well. But we built out a really broad site. Not only do we have quizzes, we have blogs and the battles and shout-outs, 150 different virtual goods. And it also works almost like a video game where you contribute to the site, you get points. And as you climb up the reputation levels, you get credits, which are a virtual currency, as you increase your rep level.
Do you have any advice for any entrepreneurs just starting out who will, of course, be watching this and they want to do things like you've done, they want to follow in your footsteps? Sure.
So being an entrepreneur is it's a lot of fun, it's great, but it's also hard. It's a lot of hard work, especially as a founder or CEO. You're thinking about your business 24 hours a day, as you know. You don't really turn your brain off a whole lot when you're a founder. But when things go well, it's one of the best feelings in the world. You just have to commit to it. It's a roller coaster. You can have the highest highs and lowest lows, and sometimes they're in the same day. But it's kind of a roller coaster. I never want to get off. I love what I do, and if you've got that stomach for it, then it's a great life.
Cool. Thank you. Words of wisdom from Rick Marini. Thank you very much, Rick, for joining us today.
Sure.
A pleasure to have you.
My pleasure.
And best of luck with SuperFan.
Thank you.